Hello, this is Jay Hurt with New Life 313 Ministries, and I want to take 5 minutes to give you an encouraging word here at Life of Excellence. The Bible tells us in Luke the 8th chapter that there was a woman. She had an issue of blood. She was constantly losing blood. And the Word of God specifically says for 12 years, and that she had spent all she had on all the physicians trying to get better. This issue of blood, this flow of blood, would have caused her in that day and time to be separated, to be set aside. She wasn't supposed to touch people. She wasn't supposed to be around people. But yet she was trying to live a normal life. But one day she heard about Jesus Christ. She heard that he was coming to her area, and she looks out and sees this crowd forming, and this crowd is gathering around, and she knew that has to be him. Here she was for 12 years struggling with her health, but she pushed her way through the crowd. And it says that she said within herself, if I could but touch the hem of his garment, not tackle him, not scream out to him, because see, she wasn't supposed to be touched or touch anyone because of that flow of blood. But she said, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I know I'll be made whole. Not because she had ever touched his hem of his garment before, or that he had ever seen her, or that he had ever prayed for her, but because of what she knew about him and the great things that were happening every time he showed up. So here she was in her weak state, and she pushed her way into the crowd, pushed her way through. I can imagine that some of the people that might have known her looked and said, man, you're not supposed to be touching me. I'm not supposed to be touching you. You have blood coming out of you. But she kept pushing through. Even in her weakness and her rejection, she pushed through. And she touched the hem of his garment. And this is so powerful. In Luke the 8th chapter, it says this, and Jesus stopped. And Jesus said, who touched me? All the disciples looked around and said, Master, look at the crowd. People are pushing you all around. He said, no, someone touched me, for I felt virtue go out of me. Now, the word virtue translates to the word power. And when he turned around, there she was kneeling down on the ground. And he looked at her and he said, daughter, your faith has made you whole. See, it's so powerful to see that Jesus knew exactly what had happened. He felt that power when she touched him. But the key is this. She never physically touched him, his body. She touched the string on his garment. But yet that garment felt that power come out of him, that power of healing, that power of new life, new beginning. And she knew immediately, my body's healed. She knew immediately the blood had stopped. She didn't run home. She just fell down on her knees, worshiping the Lord. Today, I want to encourage you. I don't know what has caused you to become weak. I don't know if you feel like you've been ostracized, pushed away, and the community doesn't want to be around you, or your family or your friends, and you feel depressed or despondent. You feel all alone. I don't know if you have a flow of blood. Maybe it's not a physical blood, but maybe a spiritual or emotional or mental. There's something that constantly is coming up. And no matter what you do, you can't get a breakthrough. I encourage you this, in your weakness, push your way through and reach out to Jesus. For Jesus wants to touch you and strengthen you and help you. You say, I don't believe in Jesus. That's even more important then, to reach out and touch him. You know why? He will build your faith. He will build you and change your life and encourage you. Today, I encourage you to know that Jesus wants you to receive your healing, your blessing, your miracle, your breakthrough, and a new life for you and your family. I know it may seem sorrowful and you may seem in a battle, but push on through that. Reach out, and though you may not touch him physically, you can touch him with your faith. You can touch him with your spirit. You can touch him with your prayer. You can touch him with your song. Today, Jesus is saying, shh, to all of heaven, because he's saying, who touched me? Someone is praying to me. Someone is reaching out to me. And I wonder today, is that someone you? God bless.